All right, project update time. Ticket to Ride. I ended up doing something completely different. The reason that this thing was in a Ziploc bag is so that my friend could more easily cram it into backpacks and stuff. So instead of making a full board that would encompass the entire board and instruction book, what I ended up doing was making a reduced size box, a boardless box that just stores the components with as little wasted space as possible. There's still a little bit, I'll explain why. But we store the board and instruction book separately. I guess technically you could fold this into the box. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let him do that if he's going to. This is a rock solid box. It is jostle resistant. You can store it in any orientation. I don't particularly recommend upside down, but there it is. And on the inside here are all of the components, right? So you've got the lid that pops off. It's magnetized, so it actually sticks to it. There's little enough slack in here that a train isn't even going to jostle out of place. And on the inside, we've got 5 of these. On the inside, we've got 5 of these player trays, which, as you can see, have a well with a scoop under here. For the trains, we've got the stations. There's 3 separate individually indexable station wells, and there's 1 well for the scoring marker. That's really nice. I really like how all of this came out. I also really like the orange filament, if I'm being honest. This is a very nice. I'm not usually an aesthetics guy, but this is really cute. I ended up picking up orange instead of black, which is the outer box is black, and normal will go like this. The reason that I ended up picking orange for the inside is because there is a black player color, which would be lost against the background of the outside box. So we've just got that separate. We've got a separate card well in the corner for all of the cards. That's obvious, and I'm not 100% sure what the extra 3 trains of each color are, but they're there. There is also enough space to store them inside of each of the wells if it turns out this is just useless. So yeah, I don't know. There is, underneath one of these, a spacer, because there's only 5 player colors. So these are stacked too high. This is also technically stacked too high, but there's just a blank spacer that carries this thing over here. I guess you could technically turn it over and store some stuff in there. I don't know, but that's basically that. So the reason this isn't quite as space efficient as it could be because of that, but the problem is that the space constraint here was actually the height of the cards. Right, we can't make a tray that is shorter than this. And if we did the large tray, which I tried initially to do, the large box that incorporated the board and the instruction manual, what we would end up getting is a bunch of wasted space in the sense of that these player trays would be way bigger than necessary. You can see that this is just about big enough to store all of the stuff. The trays that would have to be there in order to use up all of the space in a larger box efficiently would be way, way bigger than this. So the waste of space would actually be inside of each box. Or I guess we could have just literal empty space on one side. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I guess technically it could accommodate expansions, although I've never played an expansion for Ticket to Ride, so I don't know what those break down as space-wise. But okay. The box is jostle resistant. It works in every direction because there's little enough slop in all of these components that nothing is going to jostle around. These are very well packed in, as you can see. The lid is attached by this series of magnets, which is really cool. This is a box that I ended up designing for. I went back and I did some redesign stuff on For Sale, and this parametric box is something that came up out of that effort because I really ended up liking it. I like the pattern. It's really nice. It hides defects well. It doesn't look like it's been 3D printed almost at all, actually. Like, you can't see the layer lines if you're looking close enough here. And that's not because the layer lines aren't there. That's because this pattern covers them. It feels really good in the hand. It opens really easily. Now because of the size of this box, you can't pick this one up by the lid. You actually have to, like, pick it up, but it's also not going to pop open by accident anywhere, and it stores it everywhere. And as you can see, this is really thick. These are really thick walls. This is going to be rock solid. It's not going to go anywhere. It's also like 10% infill, so this isn't as heavy as you would imagine this box being. if I made it like in the 50s or 60s. Yeah, I think that's it. I think I'm gonna play around more with this box design if I end up doing more box replacements. There's at least one more that I'm playing at low effort, and we'll see how it goes. I also, so the embossing of the Ticket to Ride text at the top here, this is okay. I kind of wanted this to be in a separate color. There's a bunch of tactics that I tried with this and ended up not working. I've got a couple more tricks up my sleeve, but the end result might end up just being me getting a multicolor printer and calling it a day. Yeah, we'll see how it goes, and I'll let you know what the next project is. Thanks for watching.